All right, so we're back for another deep dive, and this time,
Yeah, we're going to get you prepped for some serious Thanksgiving Day football.
that's right, we've got articles covering.
All three of the big games,
Yeah.
the NFC standings,
Right.
and we've even got a peek at the 2025 draft order.
Just to spice things up a little
It's
bit.
for fun, right?
Okay, so first up is
Lions and the Bears,
the Lions are hosting the Bears on Thanksgiving.
which is a pretty classic Thanksgiving tradition.
Totally. But this year, there's kind of a twist.
Yeah, because you've got the Lions sitting pretty at 10-1,
Wow.
top of the NFC, and the Bears are struggling.
Yeah, down at 4-7.
Yep.
And it's a real clash of styles when you look at how these two teams have been playing.
Yeah, I mean, the Lions, their offense is explosive.
Yeah.
They've almost hit 60 points twice this season.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
And on the other side, you have the Bears, who just fired their offensive coordinator.
Yeah, which that's never a good sign mid-season.
Not a great sign, no.
Usually means they're really struggling to get something going on offense.
Yeah, a pretty big shakeup.
It is, yeah.
But then last week, their rookie quarterback, Caleb Williams, who was the #1 draft pick,
Oh, yeah.
he actually managed to throw a couple of touchdowns.
And he did. He had a decent game.
So is there, is this a sign that things might be turning around? Could a coaching change actually make a difference this late in the season?
It's possible. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes a new coordinator can come in and bring some fresh ideas.
Right.
Try to, tailor the offense to the player's strengths a little bit better.
Yeah.
But, it's a tough ask to completely turn things around in just a few games.
Yeah. Especially when you look at who they're going up against. That Lions defense
Oh, man.
is pretty tough.
Yeah, I think they're only giving up like 12 points in the last 2 games or something like that.
Yeah, they're ranked 2nd in the league.
It's tough.
Pretty impressive.
So, yeah.
All right, well, anything can happen on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Lions and, their incredible season, the articles we have actually point out that they could clinch a playoff spot this weekend.
I mean, that would be unbelievable. Can you imagine?
Right?
Thanksgiving, you're celebrating with your family.
Playoffs,
Playoffs.
turkey and playoffs.
Turkey in playoffs, it's the dream.
But it's not a sure thing, is it? What else has to happen?
So they need to win their game against the Bears, obviously.
Right.
But they also need the Vikings to lose to the Packers.
Oh, so we got to keep an eye on that Vikings-Packers game as well.
It's all connected.
Wow, the stakes are high.
It's getting interesting.
Yeah. So, we were talking about the future and the draft. One of the articles even includes a sneak peek at the 2025 draft order.
I know. Not exactly typical Thanksgiving dinner table conversation.
But I'm always curious.
It's always interesting to see where teams stand at this point in the season.
Totally. So for our listeners out there, is your team sitting high in the draft order? Any surprises there? Let us know in the comments.
Let us know.
But for now, let's get back to the Thanksgiving Day action.
Right.
We've got another game on the docket. The Cowboys versus the Giants.
Classic NFC East rivalry.
Always a good one.
Yeah.
Always a good matchup. But this year, there's a little twist.
A little bit of a twist, yeah.
Both starting quarterbacks are out with injuries.
Yeah.
So that's a big shakeup.
Yeah, that changes things, right?
Big time. Backup quarterbacks, they can really, make things interesting.
Yeah, sometimes for the better, sometimes not.
Exactly. So does this mean we're in for, a defensive slugfest, or could this actually open things up and make it more exciting?
It's hard to say. I mean, without their starting quarterbacks, both teams might rely more heavily on the running game
Yeah.
and, their defenses.
That's it.
But backup quarterbacks, they come in sometimes and they've got something to prove.
Right.
And, they can play with a little bit more freedom and maybe make some unexpected plays.
So if you're a fan of either team, how are you feeling about this?
Yeah, I'd be curious to know.
A little nervous, a little excited.
Yeah, it's definitely a wild card.
For sure. All right, last but not least, we have the Dolphins heading up to Green Bay to face the Packers.
And the Dolphins are coming in hot.
Yeah.
But they're about to experience a different kind of heat.
Oh, yeah.
Or cold, I should say.
It is Green Bay in late November.
It's going to be chilly.
We're talking some serious cold.
Yeah, and that brings us to an interesting point about Tua, the Dolphins quarterback.
What's that?
So he's got a little bit of a reputation for not playing his best in cold weather.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's been some media chatter about it, so we're going to dive into the stats a little bit.
Okay.
See if there's any truth to that narrative.
I'm intrigued. Let's see what the data says.
All right. Okay, so we dug into those game logs and looked at the weather data, and there The results are kind of interesting.
Interesting how.
Well, so Tua has played 5 games in his career where the temperature was below 40 degrees.
Yeah, that's cold.
It is, yeah.
Especially for a guy who, plays in Miami most of the time.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
exactly used to that.
And in those games, his completion percentage drops by about 8%.
Wow.
And his quarterback rating takes a pretty big hit as well.
Okay, so there's something to this whole cold weather thing then.
Yeah, I mean, it's not definitive proof, but it definitely suggests that there's something going on.
Right.
Now, whether it's a physical thing, like maybe the cold affects his grip on the ball or something,
Yeah.
or if it's more of a mental thing, maybe he just doesn't feel as comfortable in the cold.
Right.
It's hard to say for sure.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to see how he handles it on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the pressure of the game,
Yeah.
the cold,
National stage.
it's a lot to overcome.
Big test for him for sure.
And it's not just about the quarterback either,
Right.
The entire team needs to be able to adjust to playing in cold weather.
Yeah, for sure. Does the game plan change? Like, how does that actually work?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Cold weather can affect everything.
Wow.
From play calling to special teams,
Interesting.
coaches might lean more heavily on the running game.
Makes sense.
Even just catching the ball becomes more challenging when your hands are cold.
Oh, yeah. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, all those little things add up.
So the Packers, playing at Lambeau.
Oh, they've got a definitely home
travel.
field advantage in that regard.
Oh, yeah.
They're used to playing in that frozen tundra.
Yeah, it's a whole different ballgame.
It really is, yeah.
Speaking of Thanksgiving traditions, I gotta ask, what's your go-to dish on Thanksgiving?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. So many good options.
So many, yeah.
But I got to go with my grandma's sweet potato casserole.
Oh, nice.
It's got this crunchy pecan topping, and it's perfect.
That sounds amazing.
It really is.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
Yeah, me too, actually.
I think for a lot of people, Thanksgiving is about that perfect blend of football, food, family.
Yeah, for sure. Good food, good company, good games on TV.
Exactly. I always love getting together with my family and watching the games.
Yeah, it's a special time of year.
What about you? Any favorite Thanksgiving traditions?
Well, my family, we always play this really competitive game of touch football before dinner.
Nice.
It gets pretty intense, actually,
Right there.
but it's all in good fun.
Yeah, love it. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. We talked about the Lions' playoff chances, the Bears' quarterback situation, the impact of backup quarterbacks, Tua, and the cold weather. What game are you most excited for?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think I'm most intrigued by that Cowboys-Giants game,
Yeah?
just to see how those backup quarterbacks perform in that kind of environment. That rivalry, the stakes are high.
Just spotlights on them.
Yeah, it could be really interesting.
For sure. I'm kind of leaning towards Lions-Bears just because of the whole historical significance,
Yeah,
the playoff picture,
absolutely.
This is a big one for the Lions.
And hey, you never know with Tua. Maybe he'll defy the odds and have a great game in the cold.
Right. Anything is possible on Thanksgiving.
Exactly. So what about you, listener? What game are you most excited for?
Yeah, and who do you think is going to win? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, give us your predictions. We want to hear your analysis, your hot takes.
All the Thanksgiving football insights you've got.
But before we wrap up, I do want to leave you with one final thought to ponder.
Ooh, I like this.
Okay, so think about this. Even if your favorite team isn't playing on Thanksgiving,
Okay, yeah.
you can still gain some valuable insights from watching these games.
Oh, so.
Well, think of it like scouting potential playoff opponents.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you can see how these teams match up against each other, who's playing well, who's struggling.
Right.
Get a sense of the overall landscape of the league.
It's like a pregame scouting report for the rest of the season.
Exactly. It's all about connecting the dots and looking ahead.
Wow. I never thought of it that way.
It's like those Thanksgiving leftovers,
Yep.
You turn them into a whole new meal the next day.
I love that. Food for thought, right?
You got it.
All right, folks. That's going to do it for our deep dive into Thanksgiving Day football.
We hope you enjoyed it.
We hope you're ready for some serious Thanksgiving football.
Yeah, a lot of great matchups this year.
Definitely. And even if you're not, a diehard fan,
Yeah.
it's always a good excuse to get together with friends and family.
For sure.
Enjoy the festive atmosphere, the food.
The food.
Yeah. And maybe,
Right.
learn a little bit about football along the way.
Always good to learn something new.
Exactly. So from both of us, have a very happy Thanksgiving,
Yeah, enjoy the games.
the feast, and most importantly, the company of loved ones.
Absolutely.
And we'll be back next week.
With a whole new topic.
Another deep dive. Until then, stay curious.
See ya!